People always talk about the media like it's one big group that moves in unison, but it's a lot more complicated than that. That's why we started Media Jungle, to demystify how the media works, keeping you informed and entertained in a weekly video podcast. So, welcome to the Media Jungle. I'm your host, Alex Regier. Thanks for watching. Well, the next story I wanted to talk about is YouTube removing dislikes from public view. So you'll still be able to have the dislike button. You just won't see, the public won't see all the people who hate you. What do you think, Brian? Is this like a performative thing, or is this actually something that they're really trying to make the ecosystems less toxic?
I mean, I think it's a total Band-Aid, right? Like if you think about like what YouTube and Facebook are sort of responsible for as far as like the general toxicity and accelerating and like spreading it further, hiding the dislikes, I guess. Because like creators might get upset about like seeing that a lot of people don't like their videos, like is kind of silly to me.
Yeah, and actually, fun fact: last year, YouTube's Rewind video, which is the video they compile for the best videos of the year, was reportedly the most disliked video on the platform. I think it had. Let me see. I think it had 10 million thumbs down. So maybe they were a little embarrassed about that.
Well, it's engagement, and Google and Facebook are all about engagement. So I guess in that way, it's a bit of a W.
Well, I still think it remains to be seen, because I just checked YouTube and the dislikes are still publicly available. So I wonder how long it might take them and whether there's any sort of reversal. It sort of reminds me of Instagram recently trying to eliminate the likes, and then there was an insurrection of sorts by creators and influencers being like, this is how we make our living based on the number of likes that we get. And so Instagram quietly backtracked on that. So I wonder if YouTube, I don't know, YouTube can hit a button pretty quickly and eliminate this, and it's still there. I thought it was notable that the YouTube co-founder, Karim, who, by the way, famously made the first YouTube video, Me at the Zoo. I don't know if you guys noticed, but he changed the description of the video, and now it has several hundred million likes. It was the first ever YouTube video. It's just him at the zoo from 2005. He changed the description to, when all YouTubers agree that removing dislikes is a stupid idea, it probably is. He's come out.
But who's the constituency for this? Who are the sensitive souls that a little upside down thumb is so triggering?
Right. If you are willing to put yourself out there on YouTube, but you are, not able to take the heat, so to speak, of putting out videos to the world, then that's a good question. At the same time, there is a huge sensitivity among all these social media organizations about, who knows what their internal research shows. Is there a whistleblower that will come out and show YouTube did research and we found, we were able to track depression issues or suicide issues related to YouTube. And so maybe they're preempting that in some way, but I agree it's a Band-Aid.
I hate to tell them about the comments. Don't tell them about the comments.
Don't tell them about the comments. This is sort of like gun control legislation in the U.S. in the past 20 years. So we're going to keep the AR-15s and the semi-automatics, but this bullet, we're banning this bullet. Yeah.
I mean, I would start with the comments. The comments are like, nobody has ever gone into the YouTube comments section. It's kind of like when the subway pulls up and there's an empty car and you're like, oh my God, great, an empty car on the subway. Then you like step on it, you're like, there's a dead body in this car. That's why it's
And also, like, if you do a video that's super fake or like like you have a beautiful thumbnail, but the headline doesn't match the story or whatever, or it's like just some really controversial story and you put it up there, the dislikes help like, oh, this is getting engagement because people are pissed off about it as opposed to liking it. I don't know. Maybe there's some qualitative.
Although I will, just to bring it back to the other story, one of the tactics that I find both pathetic and hilarious at the same time, I don't know if there's a word for that, maybe Germans have a word for it, is that the troll army of Barstool is swarming these BI people and ratioing them, because I guess the Twitter version of the thumbs down is to ratio someone So they have more replies telling them that they're stupid, usually, than likes. I've been ratioed. I didn't mind it, though. I wasn't triggered. Yeah, I got ratioed.
Well, I think there's a new consciousness among Silicon Valley companies about the impact they're having on society. And what's interesting here is, they're trying to protect their community of creators, right? So the question is, who of note within the community who has followings, has been complaining to Google management about what's happening on YouTube, and was this a reaction to that? But at the same time, whether you're Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, I've heard less of this on. This has been a movement for a while. When I was at CBS 4 years ago, we were covering a story. The previous Nick Systrom, the Instagram founder, they now have active algorithms within Instagram that cut out negative comments where people are going after your weight or your personal life, or et cetera. And they filter out a pretty good amount of negative stuff because they wanted to protect the creators from harassment.
Yeah, that's cool.
Maybe all the world shouldn't be able to so easily talk to each other.
Yeah, we don't know if that's a good thing or not.
We wouldn't have all the work that we wouldn't be as gainfully employed as we are without these guys.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Wow, you made it to the end of the video. So amazing. We'd love it if you could like and subscribe so the YouTube algorithm will show this video to more people. Click here for the next clip in this episode, and here for our most recent clip. Thanks again, and thanks for your support on making this happen.